What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. I'm up late editing this podcast, trying to get it out to you guys as soon as possible, so make sure to drop a like as well as a comment down below. And a quick story time before we get into things. I was posting on my Instagram that I've been hanging out and working out with TOGI today, and I got a very interesting DM from somebody who takes steroids and has above 100,000 followers on Instagram, and he was giving me for hanging out with TOGI because he thinks that TOGI is a bad influence. He does not like Shane. And he actually was being very, very mean to me inside the DMs. And so I actually ended up blocking him. And I already know that when I make content with Shane, he is a controversial character. The main point of this interview is to just get inside his head, to basically see how things are operating, what his life looks like. At the end of the day, Shane is going to do what Shane is going to do. I don't condone any of the things that he does, but I knew him way before he ever started posting on social media. He's a good guy. He's really fun to hang out. And even though he may not be the best influence, I really enjoy talking with him, and I'm interested to see where he's going in life over the next couple of years. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. If you guys are interested in my personal coaching, you can make sure to check the link in the description down below. And if any of you guys are fitness coaches interested in scaling your business, monetizing your passion, and making a lot of money from something like fitness coaching online through building a brand, make sure to go check the description down below. Let's get into this episode. Awesome. And audio's all good.
Looks good.
Yeah, last thing, just try to put it close to your face, and then don't tap it or play around with it too much. If you can try
that.
And you're a little bit out of front. Yeah, here, scoot just a little bit more in. Okay, perfect.
Oh no,
fantastic.
death cord at all costs. Stressing me out.
Here we go. Let's see here. Make sure this doesn't destroy us. What is going on, guys? And welcome back to another episode of the Natty and Not podcast. I am here once again with Shane Stauffer, aka TOGI. He is back in Bozeman for your friend's graduation, right?
Yeah.
How did that whole thing go down? It's your camera guy, right?
No. He doesn't graduate for a long time.
Okay, gotcha.
Just like my few frat friends that I have.
Okay. I saw that you gave your camera guy 10 bands
yeah,
in your last
he
video.
Loved that shit.
That was awesome.
Really cool. That's like the coolest part about having a little extra money is being able to give it to my friends, especially because like $10,000 to a dude in a frat is a ton. Of money.
Yeah, and dude, how good must it feel to come back to a place where there are so many people that didn't really believe in you towards the beginning and probably told you that you were making a huge mistake and that you were being an idiot, and sometimes you were being an idiot self-admittedly, but at the same time to be able to come back to that same exact place and meet all those people, what does it feel like?
Dude, it's the best. It's like a massive victory lap. Like, I know I've never been too big on like trying to prove myself to those people, because it's never, always trying to make something for myself. But it does feel nice to come back to the frat and I got kicked out of the frat. Last time we talked about it, I got kicked out of the frat, and now I'm back. Every person in the frat is texting me like, oh, let's hang out, let's do this. And then I go to the bars and I see old friends and they're all like, oh, Shane, TOGI, this is so exciting to see you. And if anything, it's cool to see the few that are trying to do something a little bit different. Like a few of my friends saw what I did and are trying to make, even if they didn't see the vision at first, they're like, okay, that actually is possible. So now I'm going to try and do something a little different. Like the coolest thing is seeing somebody post a shitty TikTok and it has 4 likes, but they're trying to do something different. And it just reminds me of, where I was a year ago. And that it's just cool, because I'm laughing at them, but I know I can laugh at them because I'm rooting for them, and I know that in the end they'll get the last laugh at everybody laughing at them, similarly to what I've done. Yeah. So it's cool just to see that I've inspired a few of my friends to take that path.
Does it feel more like a homecoming when you come back to Bozeman or when you go back to Boulder? Like, which one is more revolutionary for you?
I don't go to Boulder anymore. I just to visit my parents. When I go to Boulder, I don't hang out with people because I don't have friends in Boulder.
Gotcha.
Like in
So it's
Bozeman,
here.
I go out to the bars and I see hundreds and hundreds of fans. But in Boulder, I kind of just hang out with my parents because I'm only there to hang out with my parents. I'm not seeing, my friends.
Wow. So yeah, things have changed a lot since we did our last podcast. You've definitely reached another level of fame. Would you say that you get treated quite a bit differently now by everybody?
Yeah, like it's weird because like me that I'm just like a regular dude, the most regular dude ever, just a 22-year-old dude, and it's really bizarre when I'm working out or in public and somebody is like, "Oh, Togi, can I take a picture?" and they're like really nervous. They're like shaking when you take the picture. It's like you're making me nervous by being nervous, dude. Because
Stop it.
It's I'm no different than any other person, but I get treated like, and you're the same. You get treated like an above average or like better than human, which is super bizarre to me. It fuels your ego for sure, but I definitely I don't dislike it, but I kind of wish that I would be more treated like a peer.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I heard that you went downtown and you were getting absolutely surrounded at Bar 9.
One of the things, it was like I couldn't even have fun. I couldn't talk to girls. I couldn't talk to my friends because every 5 seconds another person wanted to come say hi, which I'm blessed and grateful for. But also sometimes it's like, damn, I wish I could just be a normal fucking person for 30 seconds.
Yep. No, I totally get that. And what about people treating you or like taking advantage of you for your own gain? Like, have you experienced any of that? Alex Eubanks always talking about that, how he doesn't collab with anybody anymore because he feels like they're all trying to take advantage of him. Have you felt that? Or do you feel like you're separated enough to the point where you're just kind of like doing your own thing?
I think Alex Eubanks, I don't know why he's so analytical about the whole experience. Like, I know a lot of people just want to do a video with me because of what the views they can get out of it and what they get out of it. But I am pretty careful with like who I decide to do videos with now. Like at the start, it was like, oh yeah, like cool, I get to go on a podcast, I get to do a video. And I would go on people's podcasts that I don't really necessarily enjoy. Like you can tell it was just for their gain, but really it's not. It's mutually beneficial. Like me going on somebody else's video, at least I don't have to. I get to put my face out there, and then they do all the editing. They use their own platform. So I don't know why Alex Eubanks dislikes it so much. Like it's always mutually beneficial. So I am never ever like always very grateful, always very happy to be welcomed on to somebody else's platform because it's work for them.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. For my research that I did, I went back, I watched your full most recent YouTube video. And so let me get this straight. You lost like the $1 million. You did a $2 million comeback because originally you had just like won back the $1 million, but then you put the $1 million into Pepe and then that like practically doubled overnight.
Yeah, it was the most, like, it was just insanity because throughout the last, like, even 3 months, I was drinking and doing so much Adderall, so much Xanax that I effectively don't remember the last 3 months. To be completely honest, like, now I'm sober and it feels, first of all, it feels incredible to be sober. Like, it's like I can think again. Before, when I was taking all this Adderall and Xanax, all I could think was, click the button, like gamble. And it's so fucked up, but thank God it worked out and somehow I managed to stay productive, probably the Adderall. But now it feels like Adderall kind of feels like, have you ever done Adderall?
I have not.
It kind of feels like Lightning McQueen if it was black and white. So it's, you don't have any creative thoughts. You have no thoughts. I swear, I'm actually excited to do like things like this podcast because it's thought provoking and I've not had any real thoughts in months. So I would have never had the balls to like embark on such an outrageous story. Thank God it was captured. Thank God that I didn't end up losing money.
Yeah.
But so yeah, what happened was it was supposed to be just like a regular stream, whatever. And I got really blacked out.
In the original one where you lost most of the money, you were you were with Alex, right? Or at least he was at the same resort.
Oh my God, this is all kind of, yeah. It's like I forgot what happened. So oh my God, this is crazy to think about, and it's crazy watching back on TOGI versus Cabo, broke to a millionaire. I lost it all. Those 3 videos. Watching it is like me watching it for the first time. When I'm editing it, even like for example, broke to a millionaire. I was shit-faced editing the whole thing because in my mind, for whatever reason, I was in like this weird delusion. I was like, okay, so it's fucked up for the video. Now I got to get fucked up to edit it so I can have the same creative process. So for whatever reason, I was fully shit-faced editing all the videos but the most recent one. And you'll probably be able to see it in the quality of the video. Like I'll watch TOGI versus Cabo. I'm like, that's a bad editing job. But
so you do actually edit your own videos?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna try and move away from that.
Okay, gotcha.
Moving forward because it's so time consuming.
Yeah, it is. That's crazy.
So it's ridiculous watching back those clips now. Like I watch the whole video through and I'm like my jaw is on the floor. I can't imagine what it's like watching from an outsider perspective. But yeah, so Cabo, I went to Cabo with Eubanks. He like lost his passport or something, so he was a day late. The first night, regular gambling. It was actually great. I won like $250,000 or something like that. And then the next night, so the first night I won $250,000, which was awesome. Next night, Alex Eubanks wants to buy in $10K each.
Okay.
And I was just like, okay, like we'll do it. It'll be good for a video. But the whole time I'm sitting there gambling, like I don't like, it's just not. Once you go, it's like doing drugs. It's like meth addict drops down to only doing like a tiny bit of meth. They're not gonna like
only
it.
10K,
which is fucked up because I remember watching my first videos. I used to get
you were going crazy
excited.
over like a couple hundred, like winning a couple thousand.
Well, not dude. I remember, I'd be dead sober. I'd win $500, and it would be the coolest thing ever. Which is the shitty part about gambling is it's only really fun if you're broke because then you have like $20 and you make 100, and usually when you're broke you don't really have much other income. Now it's like, honestly, for me to be really excited about something, I'd probably have to hit for like about $1 million. Otherwise it's just like hit for 100K, like yes, but not like how it used to be, which sucks, but that's how it goes.
So how do you feel right now being sober? Are you still going through like a dopamine withdrawal, or do you not feel it? Does everyday life feel exciting to you?
It feels more exciting because I can focus my energy on something new. Like I have new ideas, new creative ideas. Certain things like are definitely, like for example, buying these rapper chains. They're sick, but I think that was just to be. I remember I was just bored. I was just like, damn, I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna buy more jewelry. So some things, it's definitely like the dopamine withdrawal of it all, but it's almost like a new high. It's weird that like being sober is like being high now, because I was high for 3 months. So now it feels, just because I can think clearly, I'm like so much more motivated to make better videos and go down like a certain path. I don't know exactly what it's gonna look like.
Okay. So you're actually locking in.
That's the goal. We'll see how long we make it. But that's what I am stating online and to the world, that like I'm gonna lock in, or at least get off of the drugs for a while and try it out. Like it's I don't know, I just get bored of doing the same thing over and over. Like steroids was fun, all right, whatever, I'm over it. Now it's like gambling is fun, all right, when I'm over it. And now I don't know what I'm gonna do next. So I'm kind of just still trying to figure that out.
Gotcha. So when I watched your videos, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this guy is doing all of this for the actual video, sort of for the actual stream. Like when I watch it, it almost makes more sense in my mind to think of you as somebody who's like acting. But based off of what you're saying, like that's just not true.
No, yeah, it's like
because all the other streamers out there, like Aiden Ross and stuff, these people act really stupid. Like they act stupid for the views. Yeah. You know, it's like, it's kind of what streaming starts to do, is it starts to encourage people just to kind of act like clowns and just try to be more dumb, and so people like watching them. Yeah. But with you, you're not actually trying to play dumb. You're just filming what you're doing.
I would say it's how I justify being an idiot. Because it's like
Okay.
deep down, it's like, this is what I want to do. Like
So you would be doing it whether or not the cameras were on or
I
off.
would potentially be 20% less aggressive with everything. Like,
okay.
I maybe should not embark on whatever, like max spinning a slot because what the fuck. But then it's like, oh, like, but it would be chill for the video. So it's like, all right, now we can max spin because it's my job.
So it is like an investment almost that there is a part of you that's looking at it that way.
Yeah,
At least
I would
somewhat.
say I would say 20% of it is like, you can do this because you can get away with it. But if I was making as much money as I do make somehow and I wasn't doing YouTube, I would still be almost the exact same, which is why I think people can tell in the video that it is my authentic self, which is why it's so exciting and also so like on the edge of your seat, because it is ridiculous and it's also very relatable. Like I think a lot of ex-frat 22-year-olds, if they were making millions of dollars, would be doing a similar thing that I'm doing.
Gotcha. I see. Because so you took the IQ test and that came back at 79.
Oh my God,
and
dude.
so when I saw that, I was like, there's no way. I was like, I know Shane, there's no way he got a 79 on an IQ test, because 75 is considered like disabled.
retarded.
You know that, right?
After that, I like looked into what an IQ test consists of, and you can't just go on Google and like take like
you have to get a
you have
legit
to
one.
go to like a doctor, and there's like a lot of things that go into it, including like things as far as like reaction time are involved in IQ.
Yeah.
So that's how I justify that. I don't know.
Were you on drugs when you took it?
Not like actively. I wasn't high on anything. Well, maybe Adderall, but
Okay.
I remember that was right after. What video was that? That was right after a bender. I think it was. I don't know which one it was. So my brain function was significantly slower. Like after you rail Xanax for a week, you really like. That's the main reason I stopped doing it, is because I think it makes me like about a 79 IQ, and it doesn't feel good. Like you're walking around the world, and I felt like a fish. It was just like, what is going on? Like, and I was pretty much waiting for just like. I don't even know what I was waiting for. And waiting until somebody like nudged me in the correct direction, or waiting until I took an Adderall so I could like. It was like a zombie
Focus
fish that
a little
needed
bit.
to get like electrocuted.
Interesting. And so do you have people, I don't know what your normal circle looks like. Do you have people around you that are giving you recommendations on what to do next, like the trip to Dubai, going back to Mexico? Is there somebody planning out your itinerary for you, or are you just off the cuff sending?
No, I don't know. Like my whole friend group and my whole circle is like, I'm by far the most like I don't want to say like leader, but like I'm the decision maker, which is fucking insane. Whoever gave me the role of making the decisions with me, I don't know why that's the group dynamic, but even like everything we do, every place we go, it's like, I don't know, like what is TOGI thinking? It's like, I don't think I'm not thinking much right now, but we can do it. And I think maybe it's because I always say yes, and it's like, okay, like yeah, TOGI wants to go to Dubai, but no, nobody. Every single decision is fully on my own. I've been talking a lot recently to Zerka, you know?
Yeah, I know Zerka.
He kind of stopped posting, but I'm talking a lot to him.
Yeah, what does he even do nowadays? He was like dating coaching.
Yeah, so he's doing the dating coaching still, and he just loves women overall. Like, so that's kind of like his thing. He teaches it and he practices it. But I've been talking a lot to him about, he's been more of, like the first person that I've met that's more level-headed than myself and kind of like pushing me in the right direction. Like, oh, you should.
Interesting. Well, he went through a
sober.
similar phase.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't gambling super high stakes, but he was going on podcasts saying some pretty crazy stuff.
Well,
there
and
for
that
a
was
while.
him. Like the camera wasn't on, but before that, when Zerka was 25, he overdosed 2 times. He was doing like the whole crazy,
He
like
did a ton of
drugs,
steroids,
partying, all that. The camera just wasn't on, and then he turned the camera on, went viral, made a ton of money, and kind of went ghost because he never. A lot of people don't love the fame. It's more like for the money because it's a really easy way to make money. So he kind of just stopped posting now that he's chilling financially. But he talks to me a lot, gives me a lot of really incredible advice. So I appreciate him for that. But other than that, dude, everything in my life is just like, holy shit, hopefully this works out, because I don't know what I'm doing. I never know what I'm doing.
Yeah. So what did Dubai look like? That was just a super clip or a super quick part of the video where you showed you riding on a camel and you like working out at the muscle gym there and all that type of stuff. What was it like over there?
Oh my God. I honestly, I don't even think I can. How do I explain this? I might have to tell you more when the camera's not turned on, because I didn't really like it that much.
Interesting.
But they have this weird thing where it's like, there's a reason everybody talks about Dubai like it's the best ever. You take pictures and it looks like a pure utopia, and nobody ever talks poorly about it. But I can't even talk about it. But no, I didn't love Dubai. Okay. It was a lot of fun. UFC is really cool, but
yeah, that looks
no,
like,
it's just strict over there. Like you can't do too much like crazy shit. Even though it's like a lot of money, cool cars. One example is like everyone's got an SVJ over there. You know you can't physically speed. There's a camera every like 100 feet that tracks your speed, and if you go 10 miles an hour over at any point, you get a ticket, and if you go 20 over, you get arrested. So it's like,
what is the point?
Why the fuck I got an SVJ?
Why do you have an SVJ?
That makes no sense.
You can't even make it sound good.
No, not at all. I just like to show people about it. So it's really strict out there. I think Bozeman's, I'm sure driving your car here is the best because it's all nice flat roads, a beautiful view, straight. Yeah. Like, I want to bring a car
I don't speed or anything, but
obviously
I got pulled over the other day and got interrogated about a Hellcat that was driving 150 miles an hour in a 30 on 19th that was able to get on the highway and escape the cops a month ago. And he lost his front bumper in the chase. And so they checked to like make sure that my car didn't have a new front
so it wasn't
bumper.
You, but you just had the same car.
I stopped for him.
150 and a 30 is fucking
it was pretty insane. But yeah, you can definitely take the cops on a run if you're
out here, dude.
Montana.
Yeah, you're chilling, like no problem.
180 on a dirt road.
Dude, that is terrifying.
So you can't speed in Dubai. Dubai wasn't as glamorous as you thought it was going to be, it sounds like. Overall, what do you have planned for like the next couple months? What's after Bozeman? You going back to Los Angeles?
Right now? Well, so I'm doing a whole video. I'm trying to it's Christmas, so I'm taking my family to Cabo. I'm trying to give away a lot more money because it's like
you're karma farming.
I had this.
You say?
I had this not weird, pretty obvious revelation. I was in Vegas, and one morning I was just dead sober. This was actually like 7 days ago. I was dead sober at the baccarat table, and I was doing $10,000 hands, and I ended up losing like $150K. And then I was like, fuck this, I'm going home. But then I was sitting there thinking, like, I just did $10,000 baccarat hands, and my friend is driving a $5,000 truck. Like, this is, something is wrong. Like, at a certain point, I'm a piece of shit for even allowing any of this to happen. So I'm giving away a ton of money in this video. Like, I just brought one of my friends. You guys know him, D-Ball Jacob. By the time this video is out, he'll have it. It gets here tomorrow. It's Sunday, right?
Yeah, it's Sunday today.
Gets here tomorrow, which is a shitty car for him to have, but I bought him an Ep.4.
Nice.
But in Bozeman.
Shitty car?
Well, in Bozeman. Because you can't drive it. You can, but dude, even when it's
all-wheel
raining,
drive?
No, it's like the slipperiest rear-wheel drive.
Oh, it is?
You could ever imagine. If it's raining, it's like it's a hazard.
Hey, bro, it's an M4.
That's what I'm saying. And he has a truck right now, and the plan is to get an excavator and just like pull up to his work and just start fucking up his car super bad. But I don't know if I really want to do that because then he's going to have no way to get to work. Idea. But at a certain point, grow up, Jacob. You got an M4 now. So we're probably going to do that.
That is awesome. Okay.
Last weekend, my other friend graduated. I gave him... We went to Safeway and bought every beer they had.
I saw that.
So it
was like
$3,000
in beer.
And then I like hid $20K throughout the cases. So I'm trying to give away a lot more money to my friends and family. So that's like the current arc, friends and family giving away. And then next, I'm going to try and pivot, new content switch. So steroids, like blasting steroids.
Yeah.
And then we went to blasting steroids and gambling.
Okay.
And then we were just gambling mostly. And now I'm back. I'm going to take a little bit of steroids.
Okay.
Like not like grams.
Gotcha.
Probably the plan is 500 tests, 200 EQ.
Okay.
Just leave it at that. So I'm going to try and get jacked again. And then I'm going to do a new series where I start a bunch of businesses. Because I have these millions of dollars and it's just like I could buy rapper chains. But ideally, I start something more exciting. So
okay. And so exciting businesses is what you're trying to get into.
That's the goal. I haven't thought about at all what I'm going to do. But that's actually supposed to be the last half of this YouTube video.
Should people that have ideas be reaching out to you for angel investing?
God, dude, no, I get DMs and people are like, bro, you should start Togurt and sell protein yogurt. People will love it. It's like, dude, I'm not making
that's
yogurt.
That's a terrible idea, to be honest.
Like, I could realistically sell anything, but yogurt called Togurt is not the kind of brand. I want to build a business that's unrelated to TOGI.
It sounds like you want to do something in jewelry.
Jewelry would be really, really cool. I don't know exactly how I'd get into that because I got totally scammed last time I did that. But I also
wait, are you talking about the watches?
Yeah, that's so
dude.
That's so retarded.
That was a skit, right?
No, that was real. But I will say I was more willing to get scammed for the video. It's like I would have done it either way.
Oh my god!
But the 20% of me, because I'm texting the guy, I'm like, wow, this is really fucking suspicious. And so regular me would be on the fence, okay, do we really want to do this because this is pretty retarded? But then it's okay, either I get a great deal, make money, good video, or I get fucking scammed, at least it's a chill video. So that's the part of me where it's would I have done it without the camera? It's hard to say, but no, that was not a skit. I got fucked.
Okay. So it makes you a little bit more willing to go through with it, even if it seems pretty scary. I was reading the text and he's like, "No box, no papers," and you're like, "Deal."
Say less. But I think everybody should turn on the camera because it's really awesome living 20% more on the edge, and it's hard to make yourself live 20% more on the edge for no reason, but it's the best ever, just being able to push the gas a little bit harder, and the easiest way to do that is turning on the camera. So even if you don't want to get famous, posting your shit on the internet is a good way to make yourself 10x your activities.
Interesting, because if those were real, I was looking at them, I'm like, this is definitely $200,000 worth of watch.
Exactly, I would have made $120,000, and even just by going 10x on everything in my life. I was in the spot where I lost 80K and I was all right, that was shitty, but whatever. It's no problem.
Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, that was really interesting. Okay, so you're looking to get into more the business building side of things, possibly getting into watches. You have the two Cubans on now that are both iced out, your rapper chains. Is it bad to wear them both at the same time like that? And
well, there's 3 of them here. So we got what do we got going on here?
It's really uncomfortable, massively uncomfortable.
But you just thug it out.
Well, I don't sleep in them. I just when I go out in public, and also because I just got them, it's more exciting. So I wear them. I don't see myself wearing them like this ever, unless I'm going out or going on a podcast or something.
Gotcha. I see. Okay, so you're gonna continue to kind of push things forward into jewelry, probably, possibly.
We'll see. I don't really any kind of whatever. Every day is my opinions on things change every 15 minutes. Right? So it's maybe I get into selling vacuums, which would be cool. It would be cool getting rich off of something really boring. So I've not thought about exactly what I want to do, and I already kind of tried jewelry, got scammed. I might try it again. We'll see. But I just love trying really different new things that I would never have, you would never expect myself to embark on, just because I think it's a cool way to culture myself, learn, and it'd be, I don't know, cool to get successful in a whole different venture.
That's great. You've got to keep yourself entertained somehow. That's definitely difficult.
Life
after
gets fucking
ripping a million.
So boring. Do you get bored ever training people every day? You wake up and it's all right, now I gotta make this kid more jacked again and tell this kid to eat more chicken and rice.
I really, really enjoy it. I think every single day I wake up and I look forward to the conversations that I'm going to be having with my clients. But at the same time, you've seen what I drive and stuff like that, I have to keep it spicy. I have to enjoy my life. I feel you have to spend a certain amount of money in order to enjoy what you're doing, to push you further almost.
Yeah.
There are people who can put all of their money in index funds, low risk stuff. I do that with 90% of what I earn. The other 10%, I feel like it wouldn't even be worth making money if you didn't spend that other 10%.
It gets even, dude, I spend a lot of my income on like random dumb shit, and I still find like every day it's like, okay, like I need the sword to be even sharper. Every day I need something a little bit more exciting, a little bit crazier. And I don't know, life gets really, really, really boring if you're not mixing it up. So I was just curious how that.
Yeah, my take on it is I just try to move the needle a little bit slower because I understand that, you know, if you have a ton of fun, you know, over 1 year, if I were to go spend a bunch of money traveling for a full year, just having an absolute blast, not working that much, I would come back and I would probably be like, oh my gosh, I feel like I just wasted the past year. But at the same time, I would be like, what am I doing now? Like now I have to get back into things and take things more serious. And it would be like a step backwards, if that makes sense. So my goal is almost to, I feel like by the time I'm 30, 35 years old, be a little bit more relaxed, especially when I have a family eventually, because that's definitely what I want to do is I want to have kids. If I can be very, very set financially by that time and sort of have businesses that run themselves and be a little bit more free to travel, I would say that that's the goal, because a lot of people think of that as early 20s behavior. I think the early 20s should be used to get ahead, you know?
Yeah, dude, but it's like, how old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay, so 24, and then you have kids at 35. What the fuck do you? Because it's not going to take you 9 years to be financially set for the rest of your life. You could do it in, I don't know, probably in 1 year. So it's like, what the fuck? I have a friend that he's also you definitely know him, but he's 24. He's crypto rich. He's worth like $30 million.
Gotcha.
And I talked to him. He's like, dude, I'm so bored. Like, I guess I'm going to have kids now, but he's only 24. He doesn't even want kids. But what are you supposed to do with your time if you're too young and too successful?
Dude, that's such a great question. But I remember you saying something in your video, because you were saying, I feel just as happy even though I'm rich now. I have the fame. You know, you were saying, I feel almost just as happy as I was when I was living back in that like closet banging all the twos back at the frat.
Dude, I don't even know how to explain it.
Do you really feel that way? Because like when I was watching that, I can very specifically remember like a stark difference between when I was 20 years old and I had all of these things that I wanted to achieve, all of these things that I wanted to do. It felt like there was a gap in my life versus now with the like financial side of things being so much better off, being so much more comfortable, being able to afford like all of these toys, you know, cars and watches that I never thought that I was going to be able to buy. I can very much say that I feel a lot happier. Like I feel a lot more fulfilled, even though people always say that fulfillment doesn't come from those things. It's almost this sort of respect that I have for myself that makes me, it makes me happier. Like every morning I wake up and I'm like this is exactly where I wanted to be 40 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like you have that?
I think I was, how do I describe this? I've talked about this concept kind of before. Life is better now. I have everything I ever wanted. I can buy my friends and family nice things. I drive, you know, my dream cars. I have my dream rapper chains. I would think I was happier when I was poor, because this is the thing. It's daydreaming about what you want feels better than having what you want. When I sat there and I envisioned myself being on a private jet, driving a Lamborghini, I thought it would be this, and it is fun. It's nice. It's better than frat, but it's not this. And when I was in that place, I was never, like you talk about now, it's like you're proud of what you've become. When I was in the frat, I was proud of what I knew I was gonna be, because there was never a question. It was always, I'm gonna be here.
Yeah.
So now that I am here, it's kind of like I have no more. You said like your life, it's like kind of, you filled the gap, you've completed it, you've done what you wanted. Now there's no more every day, the hunger, the drive, like I gotta wake up, I gotta do this, I gotta go towards this. Now I look back at that version of myself and it's just like, damn, he wanted it. He had something he needed every day. Like he needed it as bad.
It's the drive.
Yeah, as bad as he wanted to eat. And now I'm here and it feels like, it's almost a sad experience looking back at him. It's like that version of TOGI is dead. And now I'm left with like everything I ever wanted. I'm such a different person now. That version of yourself pre-success, it almost, the way I describe it is never got his closure. That version of TOGI
Interesting.
never got his closure of finally driving a Lamborghini. It's like this version of myself just spawned into the world.
Yeah.
Especially maybe it feels that way because I blacked out for, so many months that I spawned back. It's like one day I woke up, I was conscious again, and I'm looking around. I have 4 cars. I fly private, and it's just like, what the fuck just happened there? So, and now I'm sitting here. I want to start these businesses, whatever, but it's like the pursuit of more money. I think the best day of my life was when I got sponsored by Research Jam, because that's when everything I ever wanted became real. Because the day that happened, then you know what you're doing is real. Like people, probably the day you got your first client was like, well, there's something here.
Yeah.
Like, now I know
It's life changing.
I
The first sale.
can now make money doing something
Yeah.
that I love. And then you get your first client, then you know you're going to make it. I don't know if I would imagine that's how it was for you. Like
Very much.
the day that happened, your dreams came true, but you can still do the daydreaming. Now it's like the dreams came true. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do for the next 10 years until I have kids. So that's kind of like the finding fulfillment in ways other than more money, more girls, more drugs.
Yeah.
It's like, what's next? What can I do to fulfill myself until I have kids?
Do you feel like that's almost part of the draw of being a gambler, is that once you win, then you're like, what is there up here? And then you almost have this self-destructive tendency to go back to zero to like get that drive
I've
back.
thought about that exact thing before, and there is something special about gambling. Is like, people think I'm joking when I say shit like this. Like, we're all just a bunch of Plinko balls at the end of the day. There's a weird, when you don't have enough problems, you need problems to overcome.
100%.
So when you're sitting there bored, like I have some friends that are massively successful, massively rich, and then they just want to gamble more. They just want to gamble hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I think it's because it's a challenge that the goal is to come out on top, but there's guaranteed like ups and downs in it, and so that's why it's so incredible. But for
So it's
me,
like to feel something.
yeah,
You just wanna
exactly.
feel something.
But for me, it's kind of getting to the point of, like I said, gambling is so much better when you're poor. Now it's like because gambling is like, I do this because I'm dreaming of a Lamborghini. Now it's like I have a Lamborghini. What am I dreaming of now? Materialistically, nothing. I have everything I would ever want materialistically. So it's like, why do I gamble more other than to make the numbers bigger? But it's you don't win typically. Like, I'm blessed. I was looking at my Roobet account stats. It's up millions of dollars, which really made, like, kind of humbled me, because I was like, wow, I am lucky. Like, that is not the Roobet experience. That's not the gambler's experience. Nobody's account goes up multiple 7 figures. Like, I'm super blessed, and that makes me want to never gamble again.
Really?
It feels like,
Interesting.
I know it's not going to stay like that. It has to come back. And so now I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing here. I'm going to keep gambling because, like you said, it's fun and it's a challenge. But I'm looking elsewhere for, like, the stimulation that I want.
I see. And so you've got the Lamborghini now. You won the RS6. That was super sweet. Dude, that car is so awesome. It's like a family car.
It's
but
a lot
it's
of
like
fun.
800 horsepower, right?
Yeah, so it started at 600, and I just stage 2'd it. So now it's 820.
Crazy. Oh my
but it looks like a classic Subaru, like not Subaru, whatever out. I don't know what the fuck they're called, but it looks like a mom car, and it's faster than a Lamborghini Urus. Well, it has the same engine as the Urus, it's just a little faster.
That's
so
crazy.
I love that car. I just put $50K into it, and it's done. I'm gonna go home and pick it up in like maybe a week or so.
Wow, that is awesome. And are you permanently kicked out of the that resort in Cabo? Like permanently forever?
I can't. Yeah, no. I could. I mean, they were nice. The problem was they were like, so it was definitely not on purpose, right? And I was like, yeah, no. It was like, it won't happen again. It was not on purpose. And then somebody sent them the video of me just like going to fucking town on that wall. And I think they knew it wasn't on purpose. But they wanted to. Because I'm a good customer. I tip hundreds of dollars. I spend like tens of thousands of dollars every time I'm there. Yeah. So they wanted to just give me like oh yeah, he's fine. But then when there's videos of it, they're like, all right, dude, like you have to leave.
Who snitched, dude?
That's what I'm saying. How did they fucking, they're like grown ass dudes in Mexico. How did they see this video? But I guess I am pretty popular in Cabo or in Mexico as a whole. So I guess, yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunate because that place is nice.
Hey, I believe it. I believe it. Okay, so definitely at an interesting phase in your life right now. So this is sort of, I'm feeling like sort of a early life crisis coming along because you've hit the midlife success. So we'll see kind of how things play out over the next couple months. I do have some questions about the whole overdose thing. Can you talk about that whole experience?
Oh yeah, dude. That just sucked fucking balls, dude. It was, so how it happened was, well, I guess this was like kind of like the breaking point, like the snap out of it of the bender. Okay. Because I had just been doing so many drugs and, you know.
And where were you at the time?
I was in my home, Woodland Hills.
Okay.
So it was just me and Liv at the house, and I was just like trying to edit this video because I was like super stoked about the video or whatever. And I don't know. At the end of the bender, if I were to come down and try and edit a video, it's just like no dopamine. You're not thinking right. It's shitty. So I was like, and that's why I'm always fucked up editing my videos too. Yep. Like you just got to keep the bender going, keep it going. Which is fucked because, bro, that's how you end up fucked up. It's crazy that people think whatever. It's just for camera, this and that. I would literally be fucked up or hungover 100% of the time for months, and that's how it happens. Is when you get in this like weird cycle of your job is to get fucked up and you kind of bring it into your job. So I can not only justify it, because before when I was largely sober before I was successful because I was dying to become successful. But once you get successful off of doing drugs and gambling, it gets massively out of hand super fast. So I was editing the video. I'd been up for it was like 40 something hours I'd been awake for. And in that time, I had taken, we counted it up the next day. It was like 38 30 milligram Adderalls. And they were all not prescription Adderalls. So when I overdosed, we were at the hospital. They took my blood. And in my system, it was like Xanax, cocaine, methamphetamine, and then like generic amphetamine was what was in my system at the time. Wow. And dude, that shit, nobody talks about, like everyone's like, oh, you overdose, whatever. Nobody talks about how bad it hurts. Because if you think about it, right, like you smash your shin on something and you're like, holy shit, that hurts. That's your body telling you like, oh, like watch out, like that kind of hurt. That wasn't good. Imagine how bad it would hurt if your whole body was dying. Like your body's trying to signal to you like, so you're dying right now. It hurt 10 times more than the most painful thing I've ever experienced prior. And I've broken bones before. It was like every inch of your body was getting broken. So it's like a burning sensation, dude, or just pure agony and panic everywhere. I can't even explain what it felt like.
But you froze, like, right? Yeah, like you couldn't move.
Well, no, I was seizing, so I couldn't move voluntarily, but like my muscles, like I was like flailing all over the place, but not voluntarily. So I couldn't control it. I just remember, it's like kind of foggy now, but I remember like I did like a massive line of cocaine and I was sitting there for like 3 minutes and like something started feeling like really weird. I like fell on the ground, started having a seizure. And then so Liv calls the ambulance and they come over and like saw me right away and they're like, okay, you gotta like definitely go to the hospital right now. And all I really remember being there was like in the ambulance, every like movement of the car, like everything hurt so bad. And I just wanted to not blink or close my mouth because it hurt too bad to do either of those. And then the guy asked me to sign something, and it was like I just couldn't. Like they had to hold my hand and bring it so I could sign it. Like I didn't even get to sign it because I physically could not. So I went to the hospital. They did whatever. They gave me some kind of drugs, and I felt so much better. But on the bright side, I did get what's it called? EKG, the heart thing.
Okay. Yep.
I'd never gotten one before. They took one of those, and now I know my heart is healthy, which is nice. I was super lucky, super blessed that I am alive. And so that was a big, well, that was the breaking point. That was, very few people take things to such an extreme where they have to have that something break. Usually it comes to a bad enough hangover makes the system break. Mm-hmm. But that specific experience was enough, as it would be enough for anybody to really be like, okay, you have a lot, you're 22, you have a lot to live for, a lot that you need to get done, and a lot of people that are counting on you to get these things done. So that was kind of when I was decided, okay, I need to, stop the drugs and stop. I've done my work is the way Zerka was explaining it to me. Like, I don't need to continue to push the limits because in the last year I've hit my altitude, right? Mm-hmm. Like
You've done something revolutionary. You don't need to be on the front page for the rest of your life.
I put in my time of becoming successful and famous through this, and I don't need that anymore. I can just kind of cruise. I don't need to keep pushing the limits. So that's kind of what I'm moving towards. It's just a rocky transition of like, this is what I'm used to. This is what everything in my life was this: gamble, drugs, steroids, harder. And now it's like, how do we slowly shift into something healthy and productive that I can do for 80 more years?
So the OD experience lasted, 12 hours in all? How long was it before you felt back to normal? Did it take like a couple days to recover?
Oh my God, dude. It was, I still think I'm not fully recovered. Like I get really weird. I get like really horrible sleep paralysis now. I never experienced sleep paralysis before. Like last night I couldn't sleep because probably about 20 different times I would doze off, immediately sleep paralysis, wake up, not want to go to sleep because I would be literally last night laying there like afraid to go to sleep because I know that it's going to happen again. So it took like 3 hours.
Very interesting.
But the OD experience was, I don't know how long that was, honestly.
So you think that the sleep paralysis you're struggling now was induced by that?
Well, it was a very stout, like the night I got home from ODing, I started getting sleep paralysis.
And that's the first time ever?
First time in my life. And
Isn't
now
it
I get
weird?
it
It's weird.
Horribly bad every single night pretty much, which is, I don't know if it's a massive coincidence, but it seems like that's what it's from. So it was, I don't know, maybe it was like all night situation. It took a while for me to really fully sober up. Like I came back from the hospital, I started editing my video again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like once my video went out, I started sleeping again. And but dude, I don't know. If anything, it was like mental, because it was the most painful thing I've ever experienced. So for like 4 days, I would get like, it was literally like PTSD. I would be so scared of, like, anytime my muscle would twitch, I'd be like, oh my God, like I'm dying again. Like it was really a mental thing. And my body was just, if anyone's ever came off of Adderall or meth, they know what it feels like. It's like your muscles are really tense, but when you're coming off of such an aggressive event, it was probably physically like 7 days before my body like felt relaxed.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, sleep paralysis is very weird. I had always heard of it, and I experienced it for the first time probably like half a year ago, and it's really strange. Do you see anything when it's happening, or you just feel it?
Sometimes I get sleep paralysis, and it's like this weird thing where I start taking meth or like snorting meth, and I can't stop myself from doing it. That was the first 3 nights would be like I would overdose on drugs again outside of my control because I would just do it, and then I would snap awake like as I start to overdose again in the dream. Now it's just like my whole body is vibrating super, like it's like painful almost.
Yeah.
My body's vibrating and I can't move obviously until I wake up. And then sometimes like I get sleep paralysis and I think I'm having a heart attack. That's been like the most common one.
Okay.
But
the heart's healthy according to
the EKG.
test you finally did.
But yeah, like 2 nights ago, I remember I was just laying there and I like was so convinced I was having a heart attack. I was like trying to reach for my phone to call 911, but I couldn't. And it was just like, then I woke up and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
That is so bizarre.
Bizarre experience. Very uncomfortable, but
okay.
hopefully that fixes itself soon. It's not the end of the world.
All right. And does it bug you at all? I'm not sure how much of like Greg Doucette's content you watch, but does it bug you at all to see like how much he jokes about the fact that you almost died?
I actually didn't see his video, but I die laughing. Honestly, the one clip I've seen was him on the phone. He's like, "Look, it's fucking Togi Overdose."
and he's like pulling you into the sky. It's so
funny to see Greg like out of his character because that's like Greg. He's a funny guy, and he's just like, "Look at this shit, fucking Togi." That's the clip I've seen. I think it's hilarious. I've not seen the actual video.
Yeah, he always goes like, I'm not sure if you've seen Greg's videos now, but they're just clip farming. So he always is just talking about like Fenty and dealing Fenty to Togi. And then it shows a picture of you dead and it does the Taco Bell noise. It goes dong.
I'm not.
It's so ridiculous. But I'm looking at it. I'm like, I wonder what Togi thinks of this. If this is like every single time he remembers this, he has a flashback to that entire episode.
I haven't seen those videos. I don't watch Greg's videos, but overall I know he's good-hearted. Like my friends joke about it because it's not like I'm not dead. You know, if I was dead, that's I guess the difference. If I was dead, Greg Doucette would not be making those jokes or those videos. Like he's a good guy. It's like, oh, we can laugh about it because he's not dead. And so me and my friends, we joke about it, and like, you know, it's funny. And I can also say I've tried meth now, which it does feel really good. It's the best until it's not, obviously. But no, I'm never offended about it.
That is incredible. Holy smoke. So you're not taking Adderall or anything nowadays?
No. Well, steroids. Well,
okay,
just testosterone.
Just testosterone.
But no, yeah, fully off of.
But then you're going to run a mini cycle.
Yeah, I've been drinking a lot this weekend. But no, off the Adderalls, off the Xanaxes, off all the pills, really. Also, I didn't realize, which I guess is user error, I did not know they negatively impacted your kidneys to take pills. Like, I guess that's like the number one negative side effect. It's like everyone thinks your heart's going to like explode. First, your kidneys are going to explode, most likely. If you do it habitually like I did every day, taking like 5-10 Adderalls, your kidneys can't digest it, which is another interesting thing that I'm learning is that kidneys kill bodybuilders. Everybody says like, oh, rip liver, rip like heart failure.
Yep.
90% of them die because their kidneys fucking explode. And so in my blood work, kidneys were by far the worst marker. Like,
gotcha.
Everything is super clean, super in line, except for my kidneys are functioning about like the night of the overdose. My kidneys were functioning like 5 times worse than regular kidneys. Now they're just like slightly out of reference, but it's the only thing out of reference. Also, they called me and they were like, "You need to go to the emergency room right now because my iron saturation." Regular is 9 to 50%.
Okay.
Mine's at 98%, which is crazy that it's so dangerous to take an everyday supplement. But I had low iron, so I was taking 65 milligrams of iron every day.
Interesting.
Apparently, I was in like very high risk of, I don't know what. They said I had to go to the ER right away, which obviously I didn't because it's a supplement.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it was so dangerous. So that's why you should get your blood work even if you're not doing steroids or drugs, because regular shit like iron, if I continued doing that 2 years from now, I probably would have died from iron saturation, which is the craziest way.
You know
to
what's
fucking
crazy
die.
is there's a bunch of people online right now, they're coaches, people that promote the carnivore diet that just eat tons and tons of meat. And they say, oh, eat tons of meat. It bumps up your testosterone levels. But what if you actually look into the science of the blood work, what it's doing is it's artificially inflating your testosterone levels because you have an huge oversaturation of iron. And the increased testosterone levels is not a good marker from the iron. But these people, they're saying, oh yeah, like eat tons of meat, you'll get insane testosterone. Like it's the hack. You don't even need to take steroids. All you have to do is eat meat. You know, the whole primal liver king carnivore bullshit. And that's exactly what they promote. And they're hurting themselves. They're literally poisoning themselves. It's wild.
Yeah, it's a lot of things that you think are. I had this conversation with my dad the other day. A lot of things you think are really healthy end up being a scam and also damaging your body. Sometimes to a massive degree. And a lot of people, like a lady. Not obviously, a lot of people could see right through this. A lady just died. I think 2 days ago. She's been a lifetime vegan, and she died from malnourishment. So in her head, she's the healthiest ever. I'm sure a lot of people could look at her and be like, that bitch is starving. But to her, she's feeling really healthy, really good. So it's just kind of about, like, how do you find the right information in what is actually healthy, what peptides are actually good, and what's becoming a negative? Because a doctor told me to take that much iron.
So does that explain like the patches on your skin that I was seeing in a couple of the YouTube videos?
The patches on my skin was eczema. And I just happened to, when your body gets, I was coming off of 1.5 grams of steroids. When your hormones fluctuate a ton, it's stress on the body. And stress on the body
from it.
Reflects largely in your skin. Like how your skin looks like. You can tell when somebody's like going through kidney failure or liver failure because their skin has like this weird grainy look. But no, I've always had eczema. It was just like a really bad episode because I was on a bender coming off of steroids, and on top of that, I ran out of my eczema. Like I have a prescription on like how to keep it down. I ran out of that shit, so it just flared up super bad, and everyone thought I was dying.
Gotcha.
But no, it was completely harmless. But it's a good indication of how stressed are your organs. If your skin looks bad, there's a good chance something's wrong inside.
Gotcha. I see. There you go. All right. Next question. How do you feel about successfully, because since we talked last, I'm pretty sure we talked about Alex Eubank on our last podcast, but since our last podcast, you were officially able to get Alex to go not Natty and start gambling and like get sponsored by a casino, right?
Yeah, he's sponsored by Roobet now, which is hilarious. Alex Eubanks officially gambles and takes steroids, which I think is awesome because it's not like he's gonna go off the chain like myself. Like a lot of people give him a lot of shit, like, oh my God, switch up for whatever this. You're supposed to try new things. And I, like, if you have, Eubanks has always had a deep belief that steroids are bad. Yeah. Stay natty, look good. But it's like, why would you shell off such a interesting new experience just for the sake of whatever it might have been, the purpose that he was on? So I think it was like the more I talked to him, the more I talk to everybody, I really preach, it's not gonna, kill you. Well, unless it does, probably not gonna kill you. Almost definitely not gonna kill you taking testosterone, and it could largely benefit your life if your goals align with that. And Eubanks' goals align with getting more jacked. So why would you not try something new if there's something that you want and you're here and there's something that can help you get where you want to be? Why would you go the fucking all the way around it when you could just go straight line that? And worst case, you stop taking steroids. So it was good to be able to influence him in a way of trying something that I found enjoyment in, I found success in, and he was looking for something new to switch it up because I think he was bored.
I watched his video where he was talking about crashing out. He was like, guys, you're right. I have been crashing out lately. And I think it was after he came back from Cabo with you. But he opened up about how he actually went through like a super nasty breakup, like right before that.
Yeah.
And then that's what ended up pushing him over. And that's something that you started doing as well, right at the beginning, right? You went through a breakup and you said, I need to start taking steroids.
Yeah.
I need to get jacked. I need to like get girls.
It's a good, like,
The forbidden pre-workout, man. It all comes back to that.
you don't necessarily need to take steroids, but the steroids is the most direct way of making a significant productive change in your life. Like, steroids can be unproductive, but typically in most people, taking steroids looks like getting a lot more dialed, a lot more locked in on what you're doing, and seeing a significant change quickly when something is very wrong. So it can look in the sense of a million different ways. For me, when I had a breakup, I was like, I need to get jacked and famous. So famous, in fact, actually, that she blocked me. So I was like, I have to get so famous that this girl somehow sees who the fuck I am one day. Obviously, once I got famous and rich, I couldn't have cared less. Which is actually funny. It did feel kind of good because she just texted me, like, I don't know, like a little bit ago.
Really?
And tried to like nudge her way back into my life.
No, she did not.
Does feel like
she's from around here? Or she's
no,
from
that
Boulder?
one was from Colorado.
Oh, okay.
Which is funny that's like it did feel good, even though I don't care about it anymore. It was like the ultimate victory of, wow, I was a loser. I got broken up with, had my heart broken, was like, I'm gonna get so jacked and famous, and then I get jacked and famous, and now like it was like the most perfect story ever. And that's why I don't know. I think steroids are great. I think if you do them too much, like Adderall can be healthy if you have ADHD or whatever and you need it to help you. Great, do Adderall. Everything I do, in my opinion, is a phenomenal activity if you don't do it like me. Like even gambling, I think is the best because for a lot of people, gambling, there's no way gambling addiction's real. Let's just be so fucking real. No, I'm serious, bro. It's no
just because they
way
figure out about what it really is. They're just
no
enlightened.
Way. Okay, so you have to look at it like this. If you gamble, I saw a clip the other day. I think it was a Greg Doucette clip talking about how gambling addicts are like ruining their lives. Have you ever met a gambling addict in your life other than myself? Gambling addict. I don't think they exist because you either run out of money and then you can't gamble anymore. You
don't think a large majority of them dirk their schmirk?
No, dude, because bro, they don't have money to start. How gambling starts is you don't have money, you get a little bit of money, and then you lose it, and you're like, damn, I'm out of money, I can't gamble anymore. Or you gamble, you make $1 million, and then you're like, I did it. I don't need to fucking gamble anymore. There's no like, oh my God, I have so much debt, I'm going to kill myself. The only reason the casinos loaned me $1 million is because I make so much money that I could pay it back. You're not going to get a fucking $50,000 loan if you don't have a job. Like, it's not going to happen. You cannot physically get addicted to gambling. You either stop gambling or you become a multimillionaire is really the science behind it. I don't know how I got on that tangent. That's a take. That's a take for sure. But the point about gambling, why else gambling is awesome, is because it's a very social activity. Like, you go to the casino with your friends. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much one of the most fun things men can do is go to Vegas with your bros. Mm. And I think, dude, get shit-faced, gamble with your friends, great memories that cost money, or great memories that earned you money. So that's great. And B, it creates a really strong bond. Like, people, this is completely serious. The process of losing money with somebody is a very strong bond that you create with them. I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like, you know, when you go through something like a shitty, like something really shitty with somebody, you become really close over it. When you're gambling, it's like, holy fuck, we're getting raped by the casino right now. It's fun. You're bonding.
That is so fascinating.
That's when you gamble alone, like myself, then it gets a little bit less awesome. When you take Adderall, alone, like myself, it gets a little less awesome. When you take grams of steroids for no reason, it gets a little less awesome. But if you took 500 milligrams of testosterone, gambled with your friends, and did a little bit of Adderall when you went out, that's a balanced, fun 22-year-old life. It doesn't need to be the way I do it. And that's why I'm happy that Eubanks, next is getting him onto cocaine. I'm telling you, it's cool to share these experiences with new friends. Because all my friends, we've already done it, but then it's like new friend.
Well, yeah, what's so funny about that is I quit smoking weed like a while ago, you know. It wasn't because you said it was
poor and gay.
It was poor and gay. But I quit weed, you know, a long time ago because I started feeling like I was getting super paranoid, super stressed out while I was on it. And I was thinking, I feel like God's trying to tell me that I'm not using my brain and my time and my talent appropriately. That's kind of what I felt like it was signaling to me. So I stopped doing that. But at the same time, with what you're doing with the just taking one thing after another, don't you feel at the same time that somebody who takes 500 tests, for example, because I talk with all my friends and they go by that at the very beginning as well. They say a balanced, healthy amount of steroids or a balanced, healthy amount of drugs. All the guys that I know that take testosterone just end up going off the deep end chasing women. And that's one thing that you kind of went this opposite direction where like the women don't seem to be what's absolutely destroying your life. You know, I don't know what your personal life looks like behind the scenes. You don't talk about the whole relationship side of things a whole lot on YouTube and stuff like that. But at the same time, these guys that I know that increase their androgens, their sex drive, even just at 500 milligrams of test per week, they can't even focus. They're like, Brandon, I'm beating off like 5 to 10 times a day. I have a raging porn addiction. Like, and their idea when they first jumped on it is, I'm gonna be so hardworking. I'm gonna be a business guy. I'm gonna be like Alex Hormozy, like good physique and productive, smart businessman making money. And then they just end up at the bars, like getting wasted because they're combining alcohol with steroids, just getting super messed up trying to get laid.
It's so those people already, the person that says, I want to take testosterone because I want to be more productive, is the person that's already 5 steps behind. They're already the loser that is, you know, addicted to porn, obsessed with getting laid. Before I took testosterone, I was obsessed with becoming successful. I was obsessed with making money. I never cared about fucking more girls, fucking hotter girls. I always cared about, you know, like retiring my family, this and that. So everybody, for the most part, knows that testosterone isn't going to fix your problems. Like, it's pretty common knowledge that, and I guess if it's not knowledge, testosterone makes you just a more potent version of yourself, which is good. But potency is always good, even if it's in the wrong direction, because that's when, if you're a little bit addicted to porn, it's not a problem. But you take testosterone and now you have a real porn addiction, then there's a breaking point, right? So then you realize maybe a potential awakening or whatever, and then you head in the right direction. Like, potency is always good. You always want to have intensity in everything you do in life. Like, if you're just going to beat off all day, beat off with passion. Like, not like
sin boldly.
Okay,
I guess.
I guess it's not like that, but it's like that in the sense that everything you do, you should do with 100% of your focus and effort, and testosterone helps people to do that. But if the people that you're referring to seem like they're just on the earlier half of getting their shit together, but the testosterone's not the problem, the user's the problem.
Interesting. Okay. The user, that makes sense. What about age-wise? Have your opinions on how long you want to live, has that changed at all? Because I remember, I think we talked in one of our earlier episodes, you said you didn't want to live past 50.
Oh yeah, no, that was fucking stupid. So I think, dude, when I'm on steroids, I go crazy viral because I have opinions like that. Like, really, when I'm blasting gear and I look back on the clips, it's like, what the fuck am I talking about right there? So that's a good example of like, testosterone and like a little Anavar is good. Testosterone trend meant equipoise and then primo. that's bad. That will make you fucking crazy. And at the time, it was just like, but that also fed in the part that was making me like already, I wanted to be successful almost as bad as I wanted to breathe. Then you add a gram of steroids. I wanted to be successful more than I wanted to be alive. Like I wanted to be successful so bad that I would never even think more than 4 days ahead. It would be like, what am I going to eat tomorrow?
Yeah.
What am I going to hit the day after that? How am I going to pin my steroids the day after that? Nothing else. I just need to get more jacked, more famous, more rich. And it was the steroids. I just wanted it so bad. I couldn't imagine what it would be like to be 25. And somebody asked me a question about being 50. It's like 50. I don't even know what 25 is going to look like.
Interesting.
So now I'm off steroids. I can think clearly. I want kids. I want a family. I want to outlive my fucking mother at the very least. So I would ideally, and I'm spending a ton of money on my health. Like Steve will do it, has really put me on to like the idea of spending your money on something productive, like being healthy and your body, because it's expensive. I would like to live.
Like the sound of that, Steve.
I would like to live till I'm 100, like, or 150. Like, there's no limit on how long I want to enjoy this existence, because there's so much that it has to offer. Even in 500 years, you could never do it all. So I'm trying to find a balance of like, how can I do everything the most intense way possible without dying, staying healthy as intensely as I can. So full 360. I do not want to die at 50.
There you go.
Old.
Okay, so you have changed things up on that side of things. Relationship-wise, you still just kind of keep that out of the public eye in terms of,
Yeah, I don't know.
You do that strategically, kind of.
Yeah, I've never found any benefit in talking about women on the internet. Especially, I think it's funny content and interesting content talking about women. You can't really talk about women on YouTube too explicitly. You can't have them on YouTube and flirt with them at all. So any girl I ever talk to, or any clips that I have where I'm talking to girls, or a lot of people want me to give, because on my Snapchat sometimes I talk about girls and like how to get them what they want. A lot of people want me to put it into my YouTube video. YouTube will age restrict you immediately if you have a girl on your video, and especially if you're talking sexually in any manner to women, they hate it. So I was just like, once that started happening to my channel, I kind of was like, I'm just going to leave women out of the picture. Like, YouTube lets you do cocaine and gamble. Can't talk to girls.
That's incredible. Well, yeah, it shows. I mean, girls are powerful. That's what convinced. I mean, you convinced Andrew Eubanks to hop on gear, but so did a breakup. It definitely. It's a very, very powerful force in the world. I guess last sort of question I wanted to dive a little bit into, and we don't have to go super deep on this, but I was just wondering, like, religious-wise, have you come to any other epiphanies? Where are you headed in terms of your mental space about how you... I know you talk about the karma farming and, giving people money and all those types of things. Is there anything else, or have you thought more about whether or not you truly believe if there's a God? I know you're kind of agnostic last time we talked. You're like, there's something out there. I don't know which one. Is there any sort of one of my questions was for you, when Greg Doucette is saying like Togi's having his out of body experience. He's like dragging him up here. Was there any sort of epiphany during those moments where you're like,
a lot of people think when you're overdosing, you have these crazy like flashbacks of your life, like, oh, these are all my best moments, or like, oh, like I see God. No, I was just like, oh, this hurts so bad. Like, I'm in so much pain. Please don't die. Please don't die, because this fucking sucks.
Couldn't think at all.
Please stop. I'm dying right now. Like, this is horrible. It was just on repeat. Please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die. So there was no God in that moment. There was no reel of my best moments. There was nobody else existed. All I wanted to do was call my mother and say I'm sorry, but I couldn't grab the phone, and luckily I didn't, because she would have freaked the fuck out, and I'm alive now, so she didn't need to worry.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Did she freak out when you told her about that, or when she figured it out?
She's like, well, she's a mom, right? Like, she's just really not happy about it. But I'm not happy about it either. But in that moment, no, I wasn't. nothing God related, but in the last few months, I have been leaning towards Christianity. I would say I identify as a Christian, but I don't want to. I kind of put it off for so long because there's a couple of different reasons. Everyone that's Christian, I get a million DMs a day. You need God. You need to do this. And when somebody tells you that you need something, it's like, fuck you, dude. I don't need anything.
So you're doing that out of spite. You don't want to give them.
And then it was also like deep down, I know that like at the time it was like, if I become like fully, well, this was my misconception at the time. There was like, if I become fully religious, then I'm gonna have to like live a shitty life. Like, right, I'm gonna have to stop doing the things that I love, which is obviously not the case. But at the time, I was under the impression, because I just wasn't super like in tune with how it works. And that's why I think Christianity is great, because it's like Jesus is perfect and he's coming down to save us, right? Whereas every other religion, which is how I thought Christianity was like, you have to be perfect so you can get up to God. But now that I'm learning like kind of how Christianity works a little bit more, I'm much more in tune with God and open to the idea. But I'm not forcing it, because a lot of people, like at first, like even when I talked to Eubanks, it was a little more like, okay, now do this. Like now read the Bible. Now go out and do this. But I was talking just recently with Zerka, and he was like, you don't need to be Christian. You don't need to force anything. First, just be a good person and, do things that you enjoy, find fulfillment. You don't need to force the Christianity. It can happen later if it's right for you, but for now. And that's why I think Zerka is one of the few real Christians that I've met, because I've met a lot of people on the internet and they have these really harsh judgments and opinions about everyone that's not Christian. And it's just like, it always rubbed me the wrong way. And then talking to Zerka more, I see that that's not the case whatsoever. So I'm working towards becoming like, the full version and educated Christian, because I'm a little out of the loop still. So I try and educate a bit myself on it. And maybe that's what I'm missing, right? Like I needed to get successful. Now I'm successful. Maybe I need God in my life, but I'm not forcing it. I'm just ready for it.
Gotcha. Well, that's great. That's really all I wanted to hear, because on our last podcast, I was telling you, I'm like, if you look into things, look into Jesus and grace, that's what you're catching on to with the whole idea of Christianity. And once you figure that out, it is really cool. It's not a get out of jail free pass to do whatever you want, but at the same time, this whole idea of like, TOGI, you need to be working towards like heaven. You have to be good enough to get there. It's not the case. You just have to be forgiven. You have to want that forgiveness. So that's really great. I was not expecting to actually get that much. So that's fantastic. Sweet. Well, I'm actually, you good to go hit a workout after this?
Yeah, let's do it. We're doing back,
down?
right?
Yeah, we're hitting back.
Let's
together. Sweet. Fantastic, man. Well, this was an awesome podcast. Make sure you guys go check out TOGI's YouTube on let's see, what else are you streaming on? You're streaming on Kick.
Yeah.
Okay, make sure you go check out his streams on Kick. And thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Natty or Not. We are gonna go hit a little bit of a back a day, get a juicy pump in. I need to try on these chains too. You wanna check out the Sky Dweller?
Yeah.
You wanna see? You have to tell me if you think it's too big, because it's freaking huge, dude.
Let's see.
Let me know, because you were supposed to get a Sky Dweller actually, right? In that order, but it never came through.
Oh yeah, dude, this thing is way too big. Well, let me try it on. I'm also used to a small.
Yeah, I know. Once you have a 40 and then you're trying a 42, it's really heavy. That's why I was telling you, bro. It's massive.
It makes me look like a female, bro.
Yeah, it's pretty glamorous for sure.
No, but I like it. I like it a lot. I don't think it's too big. I think I prefer the smaller.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's too big by any means.
Yep, that makes sense.
That's so hard. I think the Sky Dweller aesthetically is top 3 roller. Like Sky Dweller, Daytona.
I agree.
Presidential.
I'm right there with you, man.